meeting is being recorded.
So good morning, everybody. Nice to see your faces. I am Carol Alderdice. I'm President and CEO of TIANB, so I know that you all know who I am since you're all members. I don't know if you all know our staff, though, so I will introduce our staff on my screen, starting with Emily Camo. Sorry, Kim. Emily is on my brain. Emily Legere Stewart. She is responsible for training at TIANB. We have Ramon Martellano, who is responsible for membership. We have Shelley Munn, who's responsible for marketing and communications. And we also have Carrie. Carrie was trying to get on, and I noticed that she hasn't made it through yet, but Carrie Alberts is the one responsible implementing our workforce shortage implementation plan. So that said, I am going to introduce the Opportunities New Brunswick people that are on the call, starting with Elizabeth Fontaine, who is located in Moncton, and she is bilingual and will be able to answer the questions in French or English, but if anybody prefers answering or asking your questions in French, Elizabeth will be able to answer them. And I'll translate them, or we'll make sure that the Anglophones also get the benefit of the question and the answer. And Jason Fitzpatrick is with Opportunities New Brunswick as well and has a presentation for us. So now that you all know who we are, I would like, if possible, to have you introduce yourself and where you're from. And I will start with people on my screen. So Angela Landry, maybe if you can start.
Yes, my name is Angela and I work here at the Ramada Hotel on the north side, just off of the Princess Margaret Bridge. And I've only been here for about roughly just over 6 months now. So during all this commotion and and changeovers, and like you said earlier, Carol, you know, hiring and then people being laid off and then hiring and you know, and with COVID regulations changing different levels and what you can do, it's been a learning curve for me for sure, but I think I've done well at the reins, considering I had about 2 weeks of training.
Welcome
to the club.
Yeah, welcome to the club. Yes. Janice. Oh, sorry. Angela?
That's okay. I wear many hats here. I'm basically the sales manager and the event coordinator, and I try to do some marketing.
Excellent. Thank you. Janice.
Hi, Janice McPherson. I'm a co-founder of Pomodori Pizzeria. We're a quick service model, so we actually haven't closed through all of COVID. We've actually stayed open the entire time. We have 2 locations in the St. John region, and we have a franchisee in Moncton. And yeah, so I'm interested to hear. I've got some issues with regard to, you know, the rush, like what the reason, like what it is about the grant and how we can actually access it since we've been open the whole time.
Excellent. Okay. Chrissy?
Hi, everyone. My name is Chrissy. I'm a tourism development strategist working with Touriscope. And today I am also representing the Restigouche Tourism Association. Nice to meet you all.
Thank you. Jeanette?
Hi, everyone. My name is Jeanette Duado. Like Carol mentioned when I signed in, I am the pastor of TIANB, so still on the board for another year. I am also the executive director for Destination Southeast, which is our tourism association in our region. It covers from Sackville to Kishibouquac, with the exclusion of Moncton, but we do work in partnership with Moncton. It's just not in our membership base. And I am also on the board of director for Experience Academy.
Thank you. Ron.
Morning, everybody. Oop, am I muted? No, I'm not.
No,
good morning, everybody. I'm the owner of Coastal Inns. I'm on the call today as a representative of the Greater Moncton Hotel Association.
Mylène.
Hello, I'm Mylène. I'm with Christy. I represent the Restigouche Tourism Association.
Monique.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Monique Boudreau from the Destination Development Team at Tourism Heritage and Culture. It's fun to see some faces. Hi, Ron. It's been a while.
Has been.
Wanda. You're muted, Yolanda.
Good morning, Wanda Hughes. I'm located in St. John, New Brunswick, a small business operator, several small businesses, Inside Out Nature Center located in Rockwood Park, at the Lily Lake Pavilion, as well as GoFundMe Events, a kayak operator in St. John.
Great. Kim?
Good morning, everyone. I'm Kim Matthews. I'm the Executive Director of Tourism for the Department of Tourism, Heritage and Culture.
Thank you. Angela? Oh, sorry, Angela McLean. We already had an Angela. Angela McLean.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for hosting this event. I'm the Operations Director at Sunbury Shores Arts and Nature Center down in St. Andrews. We're a not-for-profit organization, and we thankfully were able to take advantage of many of the federal COVID programs, but as you know, most of that has dried up. Very concerned about moving forward and looking to find out what this program is all about.
Okay. Our federal programs have been extended, Angela, so we can talk about that offline.
Yeah, yes, to some degree. There are different requirements for it now, so we're not exactly sure what that's going to mean for us.
Okay. Walter.
Good morning, everybody. Walter Laufer. I'm responsible for 3 hotels in New Brunswick, and looking forward to getting some questions answered on the call today. Thank you.
Okay, and finally, Ellen. If you're speaking, Ellen, you're muted. Ellen Tucker?
Hi there, sorry about that.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm not on camera. It's too early in the morning for me. I just finished my exercises, so I'm not a pretty sight. I'm working from home these days. I don't know if you all know, I sold Freedom to Maritime Travel. And actually Heather McKenzie is the one who is running Freedom now. I just like to keep in touch with what's happening with everything, and still care so much about inbound business for New Brunswick. So that's why I'm here.
Great, thank you. Thank you, everybody. I noticed, Carrie, just so that you know, I introduced our team when you were trying to get on. So Carrie Alberts is on the call as well. So that said, I would like to get maybe Jason to start your presentation. You should be able to share your screen, Jason.
Yeah, awesome, thanks. I'll get that up. So just get you guys to confirm that you're able to see the presentation.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Okay. So yeah, thanks for having us. My name is Jason Fitzpatrick. I'm with Opportunities New Brunswick, as well as Elizabeth Fontaine. And we're here, I guess, today to just give you guys a quick overview of the Small Business Recovery Grant. This is the 3rd phase of the program. So some of you may be familiar with phase 1 or 2, may have applied. If you did and you were eligible under the first 2 phases, you will continue to be eligible under the 3rd phase. So this is really again, an extension of the program to address the COVID-19 kind of winter plan that GMB has in place. So this is the presentation mode. Okay, so high level, again, phase 3 of the recovery grant is a non-repayable grant up to $10,000, and it's to help businesses and owners offset the impacts of the COVID-19. Within that payment, there is a supplementary $300 in case you need to pull in any financial advisory or accountants to pull together your financials to basically apply or deem your eligibility. The program launched yesterday officially, so there is a portal available. So you can see a link there. And if you just go to OMB Canada, you'll be able to find your way through to it. It'll stay open until the end of March. So you've got, I guess, like I said, until the end of March to get your application in. Now the program covers from December until the end of February. So that last month of March is really just to get your financials together for February and submit. So again, in alignment with the COVID-19 winter plan, eligible businesses, and those include restaurants, excluding those that have quick service and drive-through options, caterers, drinking establishments, retail stores, gyms, fitness facilities, tourism, personal services, so bars, hairstylists, spas, salons, tattoo parlors, and entertainment centers. So you may notice a bit of a difference there between phase 1 or 2. If you're familiar, we have enhanced it to include more businesses to be eligible. So again, just to reiterate, if you were eligible under phase 1 or 2, you will continue to be eligible. Some of the requirements will be that you need to operate as a full-time or full-time seasonal business within New Brunswick. You must be a for-profit business, and you must employ between 2 and 99 employees. So outside the scope of this, if you fall underneath the 2 employees, we also did launch a self-employment fund, so completely separate and just high level. That is a non-repayable one-time payment of $2,000 for self-employed businesses. And here, just a quick note on the 2 to 99 full-time employees. I think that was stricter in the previous phases. We're now going to look at full-time equivalency. So there's kind of a definition there, 1,560 at total hours per year, or you could add hours across multiple employees for a combination of 1,560 hours. So they will be a little bit flexible on the full-time equivalent. We know that was some of the feedback we received in the previous phases, that it was difficult for some of these businesses to operate with 2 full-time employees. So again, just an enhancement there to try and make more businesses be eligible. So how the funds will be administered, essentially it's going to be 30% of your gross revenues in terms of a comparison. So month over month, or not month over month, but the comparable month year over year. So if your revenues are down 30%, up to a maximum of $10,000 in terms of a payment. So, and again, that's for the months of December, January, and February. So December 2021, and then January, February 2022 in comparison to last year. Again, just reiterating the date, it opened yesterday, and you'll be able to apply until the end of March. And then we'll go over some of the frequently asked questions. So it is a taxable benefit. So something to note, that's something we've been asked quite a bit. Can you apply more than once? As long as your businesses are each registered under their own number, you can. And then amounts received from so for the purpose of this program, financial assistance provided by the federal government is not considered as part of your business revenue. So if you recognize these amounts as revenues on your statements, please report your monthly revenues in the application from net of these amounts. So they will be looking at revenues excluding those. So that should help, I guess, in terms of a decrease in your revenues. And in terms of making additional grants available, that's just something we kind of continuously monitor. There's no set answer there. Again, the self-employment fund just came about within the last 2 weeks. So kind of just keeping an eye on the economy and making decisions to kind of best suit the businesses and whatnot. So that's kind of the program in a nutshell. If there's any questions that we can't address today, we would strongly advise that you reach out to our Business Navigator team. Phone number and email address are there. In terms of eligibility, we get a lot of questions around specifics. We do have a financial team that are going to review applications and kind of deem eligibility, and they'll kind of work with you throughout that process. in terms of reviewing what you put in your application. So we may not be able to answer yes or no in terms of eligibility, but we should be able to answer high-level questions about the program today. So
that's great. Thank you, Jason. If you can stop sharing your screen, then we can get people to answer their questions. So to answer your questions, I think the most efficient way is probably just to go to the reactions button at the bottom of your screen and click on raised hand. And then that way I can just go to you and you can ask your questions. So if anybody has any questions that for Jason or Elizabeth, as I said at the beginning, the questions can be asked in either language, the language of your choice. So by all means, you can start with your questions. Janice.
Actually, I actually had my question posted in the chat feed because I wasn't sure how you were going to address that. But my issue that I have with regard to some of these grants is relating to loss of revenue. And I'd like to understand where there is flexibility in the assessment, because we've actually had to do price increases 3 times in the last 2 years. And those price increases do not even justify the cost increases that we've incurred through the same period. So our revenues are showing higher, our number of sales are down, and our costs are way up. So to me, the revenue loss is no longer a key indicator of the situation that especially tourism businesses are facing. So I'd like to know what flexibility is there with regard to this grant.
yeah, it's a good question. They are going to be looking at gross revenues, not net. So I guess if you've done things like that to offset that, I don't know if you'd be eligible if you can't demonstrate the decrease in revenues year over year. I would leave that a little bit more to our finance team, but that's kind of their minimum threshold there is looking at year over year gross revenue decreases.
So Jason, would you be able to provide a contact, or do they have to contact the navigators to get,
yeah, you could contact. Yeah, again, I mean, we would encourage you to apply if you think that, based on what the criteria is that you think you might be eligible, and then you may be in contact directly with a financial advisor. If not, you're able to kind of get in touch with myself or Elizabeth through the NAV line, and we can kind of do a bit of an overview and communicate internally with our financial team to get a better idea of where they may be leaning with the situation. But again, in a situation like that, where gross revenues are kind of the baseline determinator, where you've taken measures to kind of maintain gross revenues, I'm not sure where that would fall and how much flexibility there's going to be that way. But again, encourage you to reach out and we can connect on a more, your personal situation or your business's situation there and figure it out. But yeah, the year over year decline in gross revenues is kind of absolutely the baseline here. So.
Okay, thank you. Ron, I think you had your hand up next.
Yes, thank you, Carol. First of all, I'd commend Janice on prices up and revenues higher. I can tell you that's certainly not the case in the hotel sector, where it's just quite the opposite. Occupancy's down, revenues down, prices down. It's absolutely devastating. In the initial press release that came out, you did not specify tourism and hotels specifically weren't mentioned. Now I see in the slides today, tourism has been added. So can I assume from that hotels and motels do qualify for this grant now?
I can't say with 100% certainty that hotels and motels will. That's something that we'll have to follow up with you on, Ron. I know when they refer to tourism, they're I think they're thinking about more of a, I don't want to use the term, what you would consider tourism, but that's a question we'll have to take offline. I don't know. Elizabeth, have you had clarity on that? Has there been?
I can say that hotels and motels did qualify for previous phases.
Okay, then yes, they should qualify then.
So to me, if you fall within the 2 to 99 employees, everybody should be qualified to fall under that criteria.
Yeah, as long as you were impacted and had restrictions from level 1, 2, or 3 of the COVID winter plan. And if hotels qualified under phase 1 or 2, then they should be qualifying under level 3.
Yeah, I've got to say, I'm a little disturbed that you don't have a specific answer, a definite answer for that. There's practically no sector that's been hurt as badly as the accommodation sector. We can't pivot to takeout. We can't pivot to home delivery and stuff like that. It's just, we're getting devastated by these lockdowns, shutdowns, restrictions. And I'm very disturbed by the fact that the government would not have specifically said yes or no, hotels are included or not included.
Yeah, I guess the only reason I didn't have a hard answer for you is I wasn't involved in phase 1 or 2 in terms of the administration, and our NAV team really just answers questions around kind of high level and helps businesses get through the application program and whatnot. In terms of the auditors and whatnot that review applications, they kind of have harder details on that stuff. But again, the messaging that we got was that businesses that qualified under phase 1 and 2 would continue to be eligible. So Elizabeth, again, if they were qualified under phase 1 and 2, then they would still be qualified.
Okay, thank you.
Angela Landry.
There. Jason, I'm kind of right behind Ron on this one, being in the same industry. The thing is, I wouldn't be taking on this myself if I were to apply for this. So I would want a solid answer as to whether this applies to us or not, because of course, even though we're not as busy as we are, we're still trying to think of ways to bring in some revenue, right, while we're down. But the thing I'm getting at, I guess, is if we didn't have a solid answer, we don't want to spend a day or up to 3 days, within a 2-week period applying for this, coming to find out that we're not even eligible, because it's not myself, it's my accounting or my accountant team that would be taking care of this. And that it's going to frown upon me if, well, you didn't find out if we're even eligible or not. So if you could get that out to us for sure, that would be fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll send out an official answer today. Again, my understanding is that yes, you will be eligible, assuming you meet the criteria of the decline in revenue and in the employees, right? Yeah.
Okay. Is there any way also that I can forward you my email address and you can send me this presentation so I can forward on to my accountant?
Yeah, absolutely. And
I'll send the presentation to everyone on the call.
Fantastic. And as well, my third question, I guess, is the application. Where would I find this form, or where do I apply for the form, or pick it up, or get it emailed to me? Where do I get this application form?
I can also provide that to Carol, and it's in the presentation. There is a link to it in the presentation.
Perfect. All right. Well, thank you very much. You've answered all my questions.
Does anybody else have any questions? Clear as mud, as they say. So if there's no other questions, what we'll do is we will make sure that you get a copy of the presentation and even of the recording, so that you can, if there's a question that was asked that you want to hear the answer again. So I'll make sure that you get that. Otherwise, if there's nothing else, there's no point in keeping you on for the full hour. I thank Elizabeth and Jason for being on the call to provide this presentation. And I thank you all for being on the call. And I wish you all well. I know it's been tough times, God Almighty. If anybody knows it's been tough times, it's our industry. So I thank you for continuing to do what you're doing. And hopefully next week things will start to get back to a level where things are opening up. So thank you very, very much for being on the call, and have a great day.
Oh,
Bye-bye.
just before we
yes.
go, I do have an update. I got confirmation that hotels are eligible.
Right on. Thank you,
Perfect.
Elizabeth.
Good to hear.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Take care, everyone.
it.
Be safe. Bye-bye.
Thank you,
Take care.
everybody.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thanks,
Bye-bye.
Carol.